Welcome to the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. Here's your host, Brien Hanley.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? This is your man, Big B, Brien Hanley, and welcome back to Big 12 Insiders. Look, week 3, there is not a ton of marquee matchups in the Big 12 this week. Look, there's, it's the week before the majority get their conference season started or even restarted, but there are not a ton of matchups with conference games starting up next week. Teams haven't been they're not necessarily testing themselves with big time matchups. That was more of a week 2, if they've even tested themselves at all. Okay, so we're going to break all that down for you today. The one thing about it is there is a conference game, there is a non-conference conference game, and then there is a big time rivalry that we are going to spotlight today. So again, we'll break down all the games within the Big 12 conference, 10 games this week, but we'll save the spotlight games for the end. So make sure you stick around to see what we have to say about those. Before we get started, as always, remember to like, follow, subscribe, continue to get in the comments like you guys always do, and always hit that notification bell so you know exactly when Big 12 Insiders content comes out. So to start us off, Samford goes to Baylor. Look, Baylor, I'm not a proponent of playing teams that are not up to par with you. But if anybody deserves it, Baylor. I mean, you play Auburn, who's now ranked. You then go and you play at SMU, who was ranked until you beat them. So, yeah, Baylor, they play Samford at home, 11 o'clock. It is what it is. I guess you can play all powerhouses, and maybe down the road, this is what it'll get to in college football. But as of right now, when you're allowed to schedule cupcakes, let everybody get on the football field, or at least have that opportunity for that to happen. This is good for Baylor. Good for them. Next up, look, Texas Tech hasn't been tested all year. A lot of people, including myself, think that they have a really good roster, a really good team, but they haven't been tested. Let's not kid ourselves. Now, they've blown out the teams that they've played, which is what you're supposed to do, but they haven't been tested. I'm not sure Oregon State, to be honest with you, is going to be a test either. Now, is it a Power 5? Is it a Group of 5? I don't know with what goes on in college football, who the hell knows what you're going to classify Oregon State as? But from what I've seen, last week they melted down. I'm not sure this is going to be that big of a test for Texas Tech playing at home. Now, I know Red Raider fans will say, hold on, Big B. We played Washington State last year and got the doors blown off of us. Number one, Washington State was a lot better football team than what Oregon State is. Number 2, it was on the road. You were without Taj Brooks. Tough. Number 3, not even just in my opinion, you weren't as good last year is what you should be this year. So totally different situations. Totally different. So I don't think Tech gets tested very much at all in this game. I'm not going to say they're going to win by 4 or 5 touchdowns or anything, but I just don't think Oregon State's that good, and I think Tech is really good. That one's at 2:30. It's actually on Fox, so you guys tune in if you don't have anything else going on or your team's not playing. Northwestern State going to Cincinnati. Cincinnati got a big win. Look, I personally think Cincinnati could be 2-0. I really do. I think they could be 2-0. I think they gave that game away to Nebraska. Nebraska wasn't a better football team than they were. I think they were probably evenly matched, and Cincinnati had an opportunity. They had Nebraska on the ropes and had an opportunity to go win and gave the game away. Made the key mistake to lose the football game. And no, it wasn't, Nebraska forced them into it or they made them. No, it was just a bad decision and a bad throw. But they get Northwestern State here. Good for them. Like get another win and get moving forward. Get ready for conference season. We'll see what in store brings for the Bearcats. Iowa State. Now this one, look, I said it earlier in the week and somebody said, come on, Big B, stop telling teams to not play these group of fives on the road. Why? What purpose does it serve you? Iowa State's going to Arkansas State. Yeah, it probably saves you some money because you're not having to pay them to come to you. Okay. But why go on the road? No, first off, Iowa State fans will tell you, hey, the last time we did this 2 years ago, it didn't work out too well. They went to Ohio and got beat. I mean, you could ask West Virginia. That just happened to them last week. But I'm just saying, it just does. Look, you're the Big 12. You don't have to do this. You don't have to. I get it. Saves you some money. I totally understand. But, yeah, it's not a good idea. Now, I'm not suspecting that Iowa State's going to lose, but the win-win or the winning situation is you have to go to Arkansas State and blow them out. If you win by 10 points, people are going to say that you struggled. And maybe you would have struggled. I'm just not a big proponent. Again, I'm not anticipating Iowa State losing. I'm really not even anticipating them struggling. But I'm just saying it could happen because we know that this is the biggest game on Arkansas State's schedule. That stadium is probably going to be absolutely bananas. But little adversity, early on in the football game, maybe Arkansas State gets out to an early lead. You're on the road, hostile environment, as much hostile environment as it can be in that stadium. Iowa State come out and then go blow the doors off of them. Might do them some good. So maybe there's a win-win in that. But I just don't like this scenario. I don't like Big 12 teams having to do this or choosing to do this. I don't like that. But I get it. Economics means something these days, man. It does. So I totally understand why. Then we got Utah going to Wyoming. Same type of deal. I don't like Utah going to Wyoming. Again, I understand. Saves you some coin. Wyoming in the past, I would say, has been a little bit of a shop of horrors for Power 5 teams to go in there and play. Texas Tech a couple of years ago, we all thought Texas Tech had an opportunity to go to the Big 12 championship game. They go to Wyoming and lose. So now I think this Utah team has a different mentality. I also think they're better than what that Tech team was. But having said that, it's not a guarantee. Games at night. It's in Laramie. I don't know. We'll see. I think Utah is a more talented team, clearly. I don't think that we should be nervous about this game, but you never know, man. It's college football. Anything can happen. But again, I just talked about it. I'm just not that big of a proponent of Big 12 teams traveling to Group of 5 schools to go play. I don't care if you used to play them or not. That's not my point. And the point is, I think we're bigger than that. We're better than that. But I understand. I totally understand. But I don't think Utah will struggle. I think they should go to Wyoming and be able to win pretty comfortably. They're favored by 23.5 points, so I think they should be fine. TCU hosts Abilene Christian. TCU had the week off last week after that demolition of North Carolina. There's not even a line on this game. They're at home. Could be a trap game, though. I will say that because they SMU, big rival, coming to town next week. So it could be a trap game for SMU. I don't suspect that they'll let their foot off the gas, but you don't know. You don't know, especially, you know how kids are. We're going to play Bill Belichick. It's on the road. It's Monday night football. The whole country, if you wanted to watch football, you had to watch us. We performed well. Everybody talking about how well we played. Now we get Abilene Christian coming to town, but we have SMU the very next week. Know how that can go. Don't anticipate that. I don't, but we know that it could be tricky. And this is literally the definition of a trap game. Texas State at Arizona State. Look, Arizona State's got to lick its wounds and get this thing going back the right direction. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They were embarrassed last week. Some are going to say that Mississippi State, they're a better team than what they were last year. Well, maybe. But if Arizona State is the team that we all thought that they were supposed to be, you can't go and lose that game. I'll say it again. You just cannot go lose that game. You have to be able to win that game. And, yeah, it's an embarrassment. Just call it what it was. It's okay to say that. It's okay to say that Arizona State got embarrassed. But it's also okay to say that their season's not over and they can turn this thing around. I don't know how good Texas State is. We'll see. But if I'm Arizona State, I go and try to blow the doors off of them. You're 16.5-point favorite. That's what I try to do. I got to get my get back, and you got to get it on somebody. Conference plays right around the corner. Big game next week. Go handle your business. Go handle your business. So those are the the 7 games within the conference that I'm not sure that those are really going to be tested. Now let's talk about the 3 spotlight games. I mentioned to you there's a conference game, a non-conference conference game, and then a big-time rivalry. So let's start with the conference game. Colorado going to Houston. You guys have heard me say several times that I am high on Houston. I like Coach Willie Fritz. I think he's got that program going in the right direction already. That's kind of his thing. He goes and turns around programs. He's changed the culture there from being Houston was kind of known, not kind of known. They were known for being a team. We're going to throw it all over the lot. We're not really going to play that good a defense, and we're just going to try to outscore everybody, and they were playing all these super high scoring games, try to score as many points as possible. That's what they were known for. Willie Fritz has gone in and said, no, we want to be extremely physical on both sides of the ball. We want to control clock, and then punish you on defense. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to change that culture. They've played pretty vanilla the first 2 weeks of the season, won handily, but they got Colorado coming to town. Now, Colorado, on the other hand, has a quarterback. It's not really an issue. It's just they're trying to find a quarterback. Well, I guess you could say it's an issue. If you don't have a quarterback and you're trying to find one, hell, Big B, what are you talking about? Yes, they got a quarterback issue. Maybe they've solved it, though. They may have solved it. Ryan Staub appears to be the starter. Coach Prime hasn't said 100% yet, and I don't think he needs to. Just we'll see soon enough. This game is on Friday night. It's on Fox. I'm excited about it. Or I take that back. It's not on Fox. What is it on? I think it's on ESPN. Yeah, I think the game's on ESPN. Let me look real quick. Yeah, the game's on ESPN. Excuse me, not Fox. There's another game that's on Fox. But I liked the dynamics of this game because Colorado, again, got physically beat up by Georgia Tech. That happened. I know Colorado fans are not going to like hearing that, but team comes to your house, runs for 320. Tell me again how that's not getting physically beat up. You did, period. But the one thing to notice, and I talked to Adam Munstertiger yesterday, who covers the Buffs, and we talked about it. It's like when you look at the Colorado run game, clearly it's better than what it has been the last 2 years because it was literally the worst in college football. But when you just look at it from the running back standpoint, when the running backs are running the football, it's not bad this year. It isn't. And they got to do more of that. Now, are they going to come out and lead the country or lead the Big 12 in rushing? No, I don't think they have to do that. But I also think the offense has to go down the field a little bit more. A lot of side-to-side passes, stuff like that. That's not going to work against Houston. You're not going to be able to do that. Willie Fritz, too good of a coach. They got athletes out there. It's at home. It's going to be a wild environment. Houston is favored by 4.5. I'm going to pick Houston. I think this is look, you could say, well, beating Colorado is not that big a deal. It just is, though. When you're trying to build your program for Houston, this is a big deal. Again, a lot of eyeballs. It's on Friday night. People are going to be watching because it's Colorado, because it's Coach Prime. You go win this game and you look good doing so, that's huge for Houston, especially a program trying to build itself. Yeah, that's a big deal. It's a big deal. Whether we as football fans think Colorado's any good or not, that's irrelevant to kids these days. It really is. They just see it. Hey, it's Colorado. Houston beat them. Look good in doing so. Maybe I should take a look at Houston. It's just something to think about, people. I think it'll be a good game. I think it's a big barometer. And I spoke to Adam Munstertiger yesterday, and I said both teams need to win this game if they're trying to get to where they want to go. This is like one of those pick'em games to where it's Houston. If you want to win 6 to 7 games this year, this is a game that people marked on their calendar as a win. Same with Colorado. You're wanting to get to 6 to 7 wins this year, you mark this game down as a win. So you got to win it if you're trying, because Colorado's schedule gets tough, as conference season gets here. Their schedule gets difficult. So trying to pick up these extra wins, it's like, well, it's going to be a little difficult. But we'll see. We'll see. I like Houston in this game. I just think the atmosphere and the physicality. Until I see Colorado be physical, I'm just not going to believe it. They can absolutely prove me wrong, and I hope they do. But until I see them be a physical football team and stop somebody who wants to be physical and stop them from doing so, I'm just not going to believe it. You got to show me. You got to show me. Next up, Kansas State going to Arizona. Now, I've been so critical of Arizona and their coach because I didn't think he was interested last year. I think he got the job and, he's out having fun with the boosters 30 minutes before a kickoff, which is absolutely insane. Never seen anything like that before in my life from a head coach. Couple hours before the game up in, inside the facility, that's something different. But out in the parking lot, come on, what are we doing? Either way, they may have rebounded. You bring in different coordinators, and they've needed to do so. Maybe it will be different this year. It has started out this way because they look like a different team. Now, the thing is that Arizona, they played Kansas State in the third game last year, and they looked good, sort of good in the first 2 games the year before. And they go to Manhattan, get the doors blown off of them, and the wheels come completely off. This is an opportunity for redemption for them to say, no, last year was an aberration. This is really the football program that we are. We're at home. We're going to beat this football team, and we're going to keep this thing moving, get some legitimacy. Because the 2 teams that they have beaten so far, nobody really cares. Well, Hawaii, what is it, Weber State? Okay. Now Kansas State comes to town. Give us a little bit of legitimacy. Having said that, how good or how legitimate is Kansas State? I've seen them play 3 times. Look, I know people. They're like, hey, B, you went to Kansas State. You're biased. You're too hard on them. No, I'm not. I'm about as honest as I can be with everybody. And watching Kansas State, they have been physically beat up in the 3 football games that they have played. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They got beat up in the second half from Iowa State. That happened. We all watched it. It was the only football game on, and we all watched Iowa State dominate them physically in the second half. We saw North Dakota, not North Dakota State, North Dakota dominate them physically in a football game where it didn't look like Kansas State was even interested, and they got saved, or they saved themselves in the last minute of the football game to be able to win at home over North Dakota. Yeah. And then last week, physically dominated by Army. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts. Defense could not get off the field. Offense couldn't run the football. A disgrace. So it's either put up or shut up for Kansas State. Are you going to stand up and fight? Or are you going to say, you know what? Everybody's talking bad about us because we've looked bad, and we're just going to feel sorry for ourselves, and we're just going to go into the tank. And we'll know because, and I said this earlier on a K-State podcast, I hope K-State gets down early. I hope they get down 10-0. 10-0 first quarter. Because then you're really going to see what kind of team this is. Are you going to fight and stand up and say, enough is enough? We are a better football team than this, and we're going to come back and we're going to show it? Or is the 10-0 lead, well, here we go again, that's it. And 10-0 goes to 24-3 at halftime, and you literally quit. We'll know, ladies and gentlemen. So in this game, I think Arizona is actually going to win. I think it'll be a close game, and I'm hoping that K-State fights. I'm hoping that they do. If they don't, it'll be what it is. It'll be what it is. And then lastly, look, the backyard brawl, it was always, look, my late brother he used to love these rivalry games. He loved saying the backyard brawl. He loved saying the holy war. I mean, that was my brother's thing, man. And this was one of his favorites because he used to always, now Hatfield and McCoy is from Kentucky, but West Virginia is pretty damn close. And he used to always say it's the Hatfields against the McCoys in this rivalry game. And I used to always laugh. But they hate each other. They hate each other. And y'all know me, I love chaos. So I love that these two teams literally despise each other. Great. But West Virginia, what was that last week? What was that? What, are you looking ahead, feeling good about yourself because you beat Robert Morris? Come on. Come on, man. You got to be better than this. Got to be better than this. Now, it's a rivalry game, so I think the game's going to be close. I don't think this game's going to get out of hand. Pitt's favored by 6.5 points at last count. But West Virginia, I think, has got to stand up. I think Rich Rod has got some. What I would say about last week is I think West Virginia got into a space of, hey, we're not going to show Ohio a whole lot. We're not going to put in our full game plan to go win this football game, and then they got caught. I'm going to give West Virginia that grace. I don't think West Virginia is a very good football team compared to other Big 12 teams. I don't think that, and I've said that, but I think they got caught. Unless Ohio is just really good, and I could be totally wrong, and I'm fine with being wrong. That's okay. But I'm going to give West Virginia some grace. And the game is at home. I think they're going to fight back. I like West Virginia to actually win this game. I like them to fight back. It'll be close. Maybe they get it at the buzzer, field goal, late field goal. But I like West Virginia to fight back in this football game just because it's a rival. You know how rivalries go. You could be way better than the other team that you're playing, but it's a rivalry game. So I'm going to give West Virginia an opportunity to redeem itself, and I think they do that. So that's the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, not a ton of tests for the Big 12 this week. It is what it is. Having said all of that, there's still some good football games to be able to watch. Tomorrow, we'll talk to you about the game of the week, the one that I chose as the game of the week. So make sure you guys show up. I appreciate all the support and everything everybody has given us since football season has started, man. I know it gets rough during the off season. Trust me, it gets rough. But it's football season now, man. I appreciate it. Keep showing up. We'll keep putting all this stuff out here. I'm going to be as honest as I possibly can and give you my take. You may not agree, and that's okay. You don't have to agree, man. You really don't have to agree. It's just my opinion. I appreciate your opinion, so please continue to get in the comments as you guys do, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Thank you for watching the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. This has been a Spirit Street production.